Why are we so surprised when wild animals go wild? This is not girls going wild or anything like that. Why are we so surprised when a wild animal goes wild? Now, obviously there's somewhere I'm going with this, so let me get to it. Quick story. I heard over the weekend, I don't know if it was yesterday or Saturday, an animal broke loose in the New Orleans Zoo in New Orleans and killed some other animals. Killed 4 or 5 other animals. I don't think any people was hurt. So thankfully that was, I hope that's true. I hope nobody was hurt. But I think it was a jaguar or something went out and killed a few animals. And it got me thinking. And I knew that I was going to apply this to life at some point. But what about the people that train bears, for example, grizzly bears? They have these bears, they train them. And that bear, for some reason or other, attacks its trainer. All right? Or an elephant that attacks its trainer. I see sometimes these guys that do alligator training or alligator farms, they put their head in the alligator's mouth. Eventually, that alligator is going to chomp down on somebody's head, right, or an arm. People out swimming with sharks. Listen, what's going to eventually happen? Somebody's going to get bit by a shark, right? You could think about tigers and lions. Somebody that trains lions and tigers and things, in Vegas and all these guys that do all these things may go years without an incident. Then something happens, and a tiger or a lion attacks its trainer. Okay? Why am I bringing this up? Because I know that when a wild animal goes wild in the zoo and hurts somebody or something like that, it is a little startling. Okay? But it got me to think. I was like, what do we expect wild animals to do? Okay, what do we expect them to do? I don't even care if they were bred in captivity. When it comes time for an animal to do its thing, guess what it's going to do? It's going to follow its natural instinct. Okay? So, though I don't like hearing the fact that an animal broke loose and killed other animals or killed people, that's what animals do. That's what wild animals do. Okay? And there's somewhere I'm going with this, so stay with me. But oftentimes we make that headline news when something like that happens. Okay, there was a point in time where you may only see stuff like that once in a blue moon because we didn't have the media coverage we have now. We don't have the internet that it travels around the world faster than ever before. So there's a lot of animals that kill people all the time. Hippopotamuses, if I'm saying that right, are one of the deadliest animals. More people die from hippopotamus attacks than almost any other animal. Snakes and so forth. You got a snake charmer or whatever that plays around with snakes. Eventually somebody gets bit and dies. What do we expect when a wild animal actually goes wild? We shouldn't be surprised, really. I mean, if you just want to put the honesty out there, we shouldn't be surprised when something like that happens. It may not happen very much, but it does happen. So you may be asking where I'm going, because I have somewhere I want to go with this. That animal, okay, that escaped, when given the opportunity, they're going to do what they were born to do. They're going to try to get out. They're going to try to escape. If the gate's left open, they're going to leave. Okay, if they can jump it, they're going to jump it. Give an example. Yesterday I saw a wild hog, probably weighed 200 or 300, 400 pounds, jump clean over a 4 or 5 foot concrete barrier. You understand what I'm saying? So to get to some food, no way around it. It leaps over it and it clears it. So my point is when put in an opportunity, put in a situation, that animal wants to survive. That animal is going to do what it is born to do, what its natural instincts are. Okay? So let's apply this to us. How does this apply to us, you might be asking, because Fist Pump Guy, you're talking about nonsense this morning. I don't know if you heard the story. That's the reason I wanted to tell you. But that happens pretty regular, I would think. In life, okay, let's talk about our life right now. We're somewhat like this, okay? We get put in situations, maybe we put ourselves in a situation where we feel captive, where we feel like we have borders around us that we can't get out of. Maybe it's something that we've done to ourselves or somebody else did to us where we can't get out of the fence, or maybe we don't want to get out of the fence, okay? Like that animal that's put behind that wall or behind that fence or that gate or that moat or whatever. They may be there, and they may stay there for a while, but when that opportunity arises, are they going to stay there? Probably not, because they want the freedom. They want to get out. Okay? So, why do we do that? Okay, why do we continue in something that maybe we're not happy in? Maybe it's a situation, a job or something. Maybe there's some situations going on where we're not happy, right? Much like that animal that gets hit with that whip one too many times, it's going to backlash. We just continue to take it sometimes. Now, I'm not saying that, where you're at, your abusive relationship or a job is abusive towards you. It could be. But my point is sometimes, and I'm using myself as an example, we get unhappy about something. Maybe it's something we did. Maybe it's something somebody else did to make us unhappy where we are. Maybe it was an opportunity that we didn't take. Maybe we were scared to take it. Okay? So, where I'm going is that animal's confined to a cage. Okay? But when given opportunity, they get out. But when we're confined to something, guess what? We don't get out. We don't take an opportunity sometimes. Okay? Why? The question is why. Maybe it's because you've been doing it so long, you're just comfortable doing it. Maybe you're comfortable making so much an hour, or so much a month, or so much a year. Maybe that relationship that you're comfortable with is just because you're comfortable. Maybe it's convenience. Maybe it's something that you have done for so long, you're scared to leave, okay? Because I see this all the time. We complain about jobs. We complain about our jobs and things like that, but we never do anything about it. We never get out of the cage, okay? Sometimes you got to clip that fence. Sometimes you got to dig a hole under it. Sometimes you got to go over it. You got to scale it to get to another opportunity. I'm not saying that the grass is always greener on the other side, because it's not. I promise you that. Sometimes you got to water it and fertilize it more than you do where you're at now. But sometimes it's about fear. Sometimes we're just scared to do something new, try something new. I'm guilty of it because we're comfortable where we are. Okay, maybe it's a situation where you were raised, or maybe you've been doing it for so long, much like that animal that's been raised in captivity. Maybe it's been in captivity 20, 30 years and has had opportunities to leave and didn't leave. Okay, but most of the time, when given opportunity, that animal is going to try to get out if given that opportunity to leave. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it could be out of fear. It could be because you're comfortable in the situation you are. And the question comes up, why? Why do we get like that? Well, I came up with 3 things that I think could be the reason why you're staying in that cage, staying trapped, or feel like you're trapped. Okay, there was 3 things I come up with, and they could all be related. So if you want to put them all in one category, go ahead. Number 1, we like to make excuses. Okay, when we don't want to do something, or we don't want to try something new, we make up excuses. We don't have to have somebody else do it for us. We do it for ourselves because we're afraid. I'm guilty of it, and that's the reason I'm bringing this to you today. These are things that I think about on a regular basis. You're scared to do something else. Maybe you're afraid, maybe you're comfortable, but you make that excuse because you're comfortable. Okay. Number 2, this is probably one of the biggest ones today. We like to play the victim. Okay. And I'm going to categorize this differently, the blame game. We blame others, but it's all together. Okay. We play the victim. We got to blame somebody else. I wasn't given an opportunity. So-and-so overlooked me for a position. So-and-so overlooked me for a problem or a promotion. Okay, great. Happens to everybody. Happened to me. All right? So at the end of the day, why do we continue to stay in situations that we feel like we can't get out of? It's because we don't want to leave. You don't want to try something else. You're scared. You're afraid. You don't have to be like that. Okay? Stop playing the victim. Stop coming up with excuses. Stop blaming others for where you're stuck, okay? Because at the end of the day, like I told you before, we got a short life. If you find a good job, you need to stick with it, okay? Sometimes we need to stay where we're at. But at the end of the day, if you continue to complain and gripe about what you're doing or the people you're working with, guess what? Sometimes it's got to go, okay? Guess what you got to do? Sometimes you got to scale that fence or that wall. Sometimes you got to dig under it. Sometimes you got to go through it, clip the fence, clip the gate, break the lock. Sometimes you have to do that, and guess what? It's all a risk, because there's always that animal caretaker out there with the darts or the little laser thing, the stunner gun, to put you down and bring you back in the cage. Okay, because it doesn't want those other people to be hurt. Hurt because the animal escapes. Same way with you. Don't be afraid to try something new. Okay, I know it's scary. I know it's scary sometimes to get out in life and do something you've never done before, or try something. But if you're not good at what you do right now, and you know that, and you're not being as successful as you'd like to be, maybe it's time that you get out of that cage and stop being afraid. Stop blaming others. Stop playing the victim. Stop making excuses and just go do it. Because at the end of the day, what's the worst that could happen? Worst could happen in most cases is you're going to fail. And maybe it's not, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing you failed, because at least that way you can't look back and have regrets in life. We all do it. We all have regrets where we look back on something and says, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have said that. We all have those opportunities. So today, coming from the fist pump guy, if you're scared, afraid, I understand that. But sometimes you have to get out and try something new. Like I said, worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. You got to start over somewhere else. But at least you're not unhappy in the position you were originally. So, stop playing a victim. Stop making excuses and stop blaming others. Get out there and do something that maybe you're uncomfortable doing, just to be successful, and something else is okay. This has been a Fist Pump Guy. I hope everybody has a great week a great week this week, and has a great day today. This has been the Fist Pump Guy, selling cars the right way, because it's the only way I know. Follow the Fist Pump Enterprise.